And hello, welcome back to the Plant.Body.Soul podcast. Hi, Gordon.
Hey, Jen.
How are you today?
Awesome.
Great. Glad to hear that, buddy.
Super excited about this one.
Oh, yeah. Gordon's been talking about this for a while. And I would say it's the first time for both of us meeting you, Yogi Bryan, in person.
Yep.
We've definitely been fans of your content on the interwebs, on social media. And it's a pleasure to have you sitting here in the flesh with us today. So
yes, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Awesome. It's good to finally meet you in real life. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you share the story of your journey? There's a lot that you do. You are a meditation teacher. You're a yogi. You also are a hypnotherapist, and you have an NLP specialty. And how did you get to where you are now?
Yeah, it was an accident. It was really an accident. Back in 2016, I started an Instagram account. It was Namaste AF at the time, and I started it because I saw one of my friends on Instagram. She was doing a yoga challenge for her studio, and she was doing yoga poses on her kitchen counter, on her bed, like all over the house for her yoga studio. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I should create an Instagram account to make fun of it. So I wasn't practicing at the time. I dabbled with like Kundalini here and there. I took Bikram for like a month, did a group on Bikram. And I really, I didn't have a practice until I saw my friend doing all over the house. And I'm like, I'm going to create an Instagram account to make fun of yoga. I think my first post was a chair pose on top of a bunk bed, and I was like elevating my practice. And within the first like week or two, I got like 1,000 followers. I thought I was super famous at the time. And I was like, I should join a yoga studio to make fun of yoga more. So I joined a yoga studio down in Phoenix. It was vibing with me. And I just started practicing to make fun of it more. And at the time I was going through like a rough divorce, like child custody stuff. So like my life was a little rough right then. And like yoga was like medicine for me. I was like super angry after some court dates. I would go to yoga and I'd be like in Shavasana, like my eyes open, just fucking pissed. But it was giving me some like medicine. Like it was helping me out. And I decided I should take yoga teacher training to make fun of yoga more. And I took yoga teacher training, and then it was like, yoga took my ass. It just really took me. And I became a yoga teacher. Like my first yoga class I taught was before I even graduated. It was at the Lush bar on the rooftop. There was like 200 people there. And I was super nervous doing it, but it was like I was supposed to be doing it. And I remember one of my favorite teachers, Brian Kest, I was watching a YouTube interview of him, and he said his teacher told him that if you practice yoga, the universe takes care of the rest. And meaning it kind of takes care of the rest of your life. You practice the yoga and then you get downloads from the universe. And that happened to me. And it keeps happening to me. Like I do my practice or do my meditation practice and I just see what I need to do next. So that kind of was how my journey started. And then, meditation started in 2019. So I started teaching yoga 2017. In 2019, I was like, I should start a meditation practice. And it was January. I'm like, I'm going to fucking meditate for 90 days in a row. And if I hate this, I'm going to quit it. I did not like meditation for 76 days. I couldn't stand it. I was doing guided meditations. And I'm like, what's the point here? Day 77, it just changed for me. I remember driving to work and I was like, wow, meditation is like a superpower for me. I'm like getting downloads from the universe. I'm seeing things, not like seeing things tripping out, but like just seeing, kind of like seeing around the corner and just downloads of my conscious mind, my conscious programming. And then that's when I got into hypnosis and just started diving into hypnosis and doing that training. So kind of made a short story long there.
No, it's really interesting though how, we can totally relate. This is not foreign to us, and it's interesting how it's like you dip your toe in the water with one thing and then all of a sudden before you know it, it just starts to unravel. Everything starts to become linked. You get, one thing pulls you into another, and then before you know it, you've have this really cool self-transformation journey that has unfolded.
It's awesome. It's like the rabbit hole. You just start the rabbit hole and it gets deeper and deeper, and it's like
the layers.
Yeah. Layers and layers.
Yeah. I feel like we find our way to this work through pain, you know, and suffering, and that's not unique. That does definitely make us connected, our pain and suffering, whatever it looks like. But, you know, then we find our way to this work, and then you find each other again on the other side of all of that, you know, the like-mindedness, the feeling of camaraderie, and friendship. So many friendships forged through yoga's you know, wellness. So it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, great story. So you have a podcast as well.
Yeah, I have a podcast.
Relax with Yogi Bryan Meditation.
Yes.
3 million plays plus.
Wow.
Awesome. It hit 4.4 million just recently.
That's
so
congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
What inspired you to start that?
Yeah, I so 2019 I started the meditation journey. I got into it as meditating pretty much every day. And I was like, I really want to do guided meditations. Probably after a year of just practicing myself over and over again, I was like, I'm going to lead guided meditations. And when I was teaching yoga, my students would be like, hey, you're putting us to sleep with your voice. Like, your voice is kind of hypnotic. Your voice is very calming. So I'm like, I'm going to use that. So I started an insight timer, creating some meditations. And Insight Timer is like such a great app because the people on there are like so honest with you. So they gave me like fucking hardcore feedback. They're like, you go too fast. Like, I can't hear you. Like, so I was using all this feedback to like help my meditations. And then 2020, the pandemic happened. I'm stuck at home. I'm like, I got to do something. And I just started making meditations pretty much every day. Seth Godin, he's like one of my favorite like business guys.
For sure.
And I watched one of his podcasts, and he said, like, just make some shit for 100 days straight and get all your shitty content out of the way. Just make it for 100 days. So, or it's like 30 days or something like that. So I did that with the podcast. I just made podcast after podcast after podcast. And then it just, it started picking up. Like 2 or 3 of those out of the 30 started doing really well. And then Spotify reached out to me, so I'm kind of on their creator program, so cool. they help me out. They're awesome. Shout out to Spotify. But yeah, it started just from the pandemic and just being consistent with it and getting all my shitty meditations out of the way and just finding some that really work. So the sleep meditations really work for me, so I do a lot of sleep meditations.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And at the time I got into hypnosis, so I started doing hypnotherapy trainings and all that to just help my meditations out even more and more. So yeah,
I started my training as well.
Oh,
I
nice.
didn't finish it, but I definitely intend to when I have some free time. You know, the agencies just a couple of things,
right?
Going on right now.
But I took a lot from it, and yeah, I think that's cool that you've incorporated that into what you're offering. So, you know, there's something you have a brand. It's undeniable what that brand is. So I'm curious if you have like specific strategies, creative strategies or branding techniques that you used consciously to be able to reach this many people, or is this something that you just like naturally occurred to you and became this thing that it is now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've studied a lot of I love Gary Vee, and I watch a lot of content on how to grow like your social media brand. And a lot of what Gary Vee says is like just being authentic and just kind of posting about your life. So yeah, Gary Vee really helped me out just to start with. And then just really like I see some of the humor in like yoga and meditation. I just love, like, I've always been the class clown, so I just love like making memes, making content, and just kind of evolving my content into it. So yeah, it's part strategy, you know, like always wearing the red hat, you know, wearing my merch and brand. So it is a strategy, but it's also like trying to be as authentic that I can be.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think that's great. It's refreshing. And then that's what is, we were just talking about what's trending in 2024, and our director of content, who's brilliant, Taylor, she was saying that she believes that like the more authentic content and content creators and, you know, influencers who are just real, is really what's going to be the trend for success in 2024. So
Yes.
I think people do resonate with your authenticity. Very
Boom.
much so.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. It's really about like focusing on your strengths. Like that's what's really helped me out, is like focusing on my strengths. Like I've been told like I have a good voice, so I use my voice. I grew up my mom cursing all the time, so like I grew up cursing, and that's me, and I love saying F-bombs.
Yeah.
So it's just all a part of like anybody out there listening, if you're like looking to build a brand or like what do I do, like you already have what you fucking are. Just be who you are and just share it. Just
You are
share
your
it.
brand.
I love
Be
that.
consistent. Yeah.
I have to say that before you showed up, I had this idea that you remind me of the Gary V of meditation.
Oh, awesome.
I did
Awesome.
say that.
Yes.
So, yes,
Heck
you're,
yeah.
You're on the right track. That's awesome.
Love it. I love Gary V. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was on his tea with Gary V one time. It was crazy. So, but yeah, I love him. He's great.
Same. You know, for the content, especially yoga and meditation can come across as somewhat serious. How do you balance this light-hearted approach with those that may find it, I guess, just different, and you know, it's something that that is very unusual in the space in terms of yoga and meditation.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance that?
Yeah, well, the Relax with Yogi Bryan podcast is all G-rated. There's no curse words on it. So I have meditations that are just G-rated, then I have R-rated.
Gotcha.
And the R-rated meditations were really just kind of a joke.
Sure.
Like it's kind of my whole journey's been just a joke. But like I wanted to get meditations like, hey fucker, like relax your butt cheeks, like those types of meditations. So like I put them on It's Just Fucking Meditation podcast,
For sure.
and people were laughing. And then I think it was like a year ago where I just came on and was like, hey fuckers, like sit down, meditate, let's inhale and then say fuck, and then that just took off. So I'm like, there's something here.
Sure.
So it's kind of like, you know, when you're saying building the brand, it's like testing the market, just kind of seeing, throwing stuff out there and like, oh, people want this, people need this, and it's fun for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I think whether it's seen as spirituality or woo-woo or whatever might be that turnoff, if we know the value of yoga and meditation, there's this feeling that you want to share it with people. And if that's what connects with them, which it does, then yeah, more of that, because you're definitely helping people. I mean, we collectively know the value of meditation and yoga in someone's life because it's affected our lives as it has. So if it's F-bombs that bring people together, great. Yes.
And I feel like it's really the intention
Agreed.
behind it. It's like the intention putting out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had people, you know, comment and they're like, oh, but fuck, the vibration of the sound is like negative. And it's like, that's not what I'm putting out there though.
Yeah.
You know, it's all good shit I'm putting out there with the cursing. So yeah.
For sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any, I don't know, favorite humorous moments or anecdotes from your journey to being Yogi Bryan, or on this journey, this just fucking yoga or just meditation? Like, I know you have something funny. There's going to be like a story that will resonate in your mind forever that's really quite hilarious.
Yeah, there was, and I was just talking about, I was talking on my Yogi Show podcast a while ago, and we were just talking about embarrassing moments like teaching. And there was this phase that I was going through where I was telling stories in Shavasana. I was telling stories at the end, and I found this Pinterest of different stories, and I didn't read like all the stories, and I shared this story, and it was like so fucking sad. Like I don't remember the story, but it was so sad. And after I finished it, I was like, oh dang, because it was like a power yoga class, like it was good. And I did the story. I'm like, that wasn't the right story. And people were like,
right
Brian,
moment.
like that was not. They were all laughing about it, but I'm gonna have to read my stories after that. So it really for me, it's like just, and I tell this to creators and just teachers and whatever, like you got to put yourself out there, like you got to try and kind of laugh it off a little bit. You know, you're going to fuck up sometimes and you're going to be like, hey, that meme wasn't the best, or, this story wasn't the best, but hey, like keep trying, keep doing it again. So that's kind of my thing. I try a lot of shit, and sometimes it's hilarious. Yeah. Embarrassing.
Yeah, I love that.
It happens.
That's good.
Yeah.
People laugh.
Humility is a good thing.
Yes.
And you do stand up too.
Yeah.
Stand up. Yeah. I haven't done it for like a year, but 2024, I'm planning on just getting back up on some open mics. So
Okay.
that's like therapy for me. Stand up and improv. Out of any of like, yoga teacher training, meditation stuff, like improv class and stand up class has been like the biggest therapeutic thing for me. It's like, cause you can kind of joke about like some of the shit that goes on in your mind, some anxieties, and you can turn it into a joke. Or like when you're in improv, some of the things that I learned in improv is just like watching people's body language and seeing what message they're giving me so I can give them back the message. Cause if I'm all in my head, I don't know what they're giving me, and then I'm just stuck on stage. So yeah, improv, stand-up comedy. Awesome. Try it out, everybody listening. Yeah. Try it out.
That's awesome. How has being a hypnotist and NLP practitioner influenced your approach to meditation and yoga?
Oh yeah, it's huge. I mean, I use like 90% of what I learned in hypnosis and NLP in everything that I do. Awesome. Like even when I'm just conversing, like just a part of me now. Even when I go out there and like, hey fuckers, like that's a hypnotic phrase because it shocks the conscious mind, and it's like, whoa, I'm gonna listen here. So a lot of the stuff I do, like even my short videos, is hypnotic in nature. But yeah, it's always used for good. My teacher, Dr. David Snyder, he's like, yeah, this shit's powerful, but make sure you use it as good. Because if you don't use it as good, like people will come back at you. They'll be super mad. So yeah, using it for good shit.
That's great.
That's beautiful. We need more of that.
Yes.
So many yoga and meditation enthusiasts are also business owners. How can creative branding and marketing strategies be applied to personal development, mindfulness related businesses? Like to stand out in a crowded market, how can they kind of use their yoga and wellness background from your experience?
Yeah. I when I first started like the journey, I heard like the yoga market's saturated, and then after doing like research and talking with people, like it's not saturated at all. There's so many people not doing yoga and meditation. So it's like, how's it saturated
right?
when there's so many? So it's really finding your niche, or I never say it right, niche or whatever, niche. But yeah, I've done a lot of like business classes too. Like I study business. I've taken like courses on it, and it really is like you got to find your voice, you got to niche down, and you got to kind of be the big fish in the small pond, because you can't, like if you're trying to be for everybody, you're not going to be for whatever that saying is. Yeah. So it's like finding like for what I do, it's like cursing, and it's not everybody's meditation, and they have so many other different options out there. So
exactly.
Yeah, if I was just gonna do like our G-rated meditations, that'd be so much harder for me. So yeah, it's really like, and I talk to, when I do like my coaching, I talk to people about it. It's like, no, you have like a certain voice. You've gone through some fucked up shit. Like use all that for your business. Like use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're definitely speaking our love language, and we relate to all of that. And I think that's why I appreciate and identify with you and your content, because although I appreciate lots of different styles of meditation, I know that there is an audience that has been resistant to all of that other style of meditation that is
considered woo.
Woo. Exactly. And you do disrupt and get people's attention, and I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
We like disruptors.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun to see, because I really didn't know that it was going to be this big. Like I really didn't know. I just thought I was going to do a couple of videos, a minute meditation saying fuckers and let's inhale and exhale fuck. And I get so many like comments like, hey, I wasn't meditating before. Like, you really helped me out going through this painful whatever they're going through. And it's just like, wow. people need this. So
super powerful, and the places you go and the places it takes you. And I think you were just in Australia.
Australia for a few weeks, did a retreat out there,
Cool.
which Australia is like one of my, it's like one of my top countries other than the United States. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love it. I
Absolutely.
love it there.
Yes. I'm sure they love you too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They teach me how to cuss a little bit. They're teaching me how to use the C word. So I can't really say it as much here, but
Not as
over there, they showed me how to use it because I wasn't using it like correctly. They showed me how to use it. So I was in training for 3 weeks on the C word. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
That's awesome.
That's incredible. It seems like you've created a community around the brand. You're holding retreats. People are coming to events. You have your online platform. How would you give advice to other people in the space, yogis, meditators, coaches, who are trying to foster an engaged community like yours? Yeah,
the biggest advice that I give creators when they're just starting is be consistent as fuck. Consistency. I could go probably grow like an Instagram account or whatever social media it is without my name or anything. Just being consistent and posting every day and doing market research and seeing what works. It's really being consistent. I see a lot of creators that they post like 5 videos a month and none of them do well, so then they just quit. Or they do like 5 podcast episodes. It's like you might need to do 60 in a row until one pops. And I when TikTok was first coming out, I was fighting that platform because I loved Instagram, and I was like, I don't know what to do here on TikTok, and I would keep posting something and then deleting it. I'm like, I just don't know. And then I finally just challenged myself. I'm like, just post 30 days in a row. Don't fucking worry about it. Just post every fucking day. And I did that, and like 2 videos hit, and then it's just that's really the secret, but it's not really a secret. It's just consistency. Post every day if you can, or teach a yoga class every day if you can. Practice meditation as much as you can. Just consistency.
I think that's a metaphor for life on a lot of things. Consistency is so key with everything.
Abhyasa. Steady effort in the direction you want to go will get you there.
Yeah, just keep going. Just keep doing it.
Yes.
What's your, as someone who promotes relaxation and fun, what's your personal mantra or message that you'd like to leave our listeners with as they embark on their yoga and meditation journey?
Yes, it's my motto, or it's the motto I tell myself. It's just fucking yoga, or it's just fucking meditation, or it's just whatever you're doing in life. If it's writing, it's just fucking writing. Because I have to tell myself that, because I get super competitive and I get kind of too into it and too serious at times. And I have to tell myself, like, Brian, it's just fucking meditation. Like, it's going to be okay. So, and it's just fucking life. So that's what I tell myself all the time. So maybe that'll help anybody listening that, hey, it's just fucking this. It's just fucking that. It's not that serious at the end of the day. Yeah, it's going to be okay.
That's a good thing to remember when you're in the weeds or you're not feeling the best.
Taking it too serious.
Yeah. So we have a series of questions that we ask guests. It's a rotating series of questions, and we kind of pick them based on who you are. A series of plant, body, and soul-oriented questions. And I'm just curious, do you have a relationship with cannabis or psychedelics? Is that something that you that is a part of your life?
Yeah, it's been a part of my life since high school.
Yeah.
Like, if I can admit that. But yeah, my parents know now,
How old
used
are
to sneak
you,
that
if
shit.
you don't mind me asking?
41.
Okay.
Be 42 January. So.
Awesome. We're in the same age-ish bracket. Yes.
Yeah, my relationship goes back to smoking weed out of a Coke can. So I probably ruined a lot of brain cells there. But yeah, I'd be smoking out of the Coke can in the bathroom. My parents are in the living room, and I'm just they're like, it smells like smoke here. I'm like, I don't know why.
What are you talking about? I think it's a neighbor or something.
And I was thinking, how did they not know? If my son did that, now I would know the smell. How did I get away with that? But sorry, Mom and Dad, they know. they're cool. But
the can is a common one. We've heard that before. The type of can varies, you know, but yours was the Coke can.
Coke can, Coke can. That got me through a lot. And I really like I haven't done like ayahuasca. Like someday I want to do that. I'm just not ready for it. But I love like microdosing shrooms at times. Yeah, I love doing that. I really get like downloads too. It's like good with meditation. I like doing it with like a certain ritual or a certain person. Yeah, that's like a Reiki practitioner. So I like doing that instead of kind of on my own. So
yeah, having somebody there to support the experience. Yeah,
exactly.
Cool.
Kind of get me through it.
Cool.
I'll share this. Like one of my things when I do like microdose or when I do like a shroom trip, I like one of my mottos is like, I'll either ride the wave, and I got a tattoo. I don't know which side it is. Like it's a wave tattoo. It's right here. Yeah. So I tell myself because I'm either gonna ride the wave or ride the snake. Because if I like ride the snake of like fear, I'll like spiral on my trip. So I'm just like, hey, like I'm down a little bit, like it's okay, I'll go up a little bit, like I'm just gonna ride the wave of this compared to like being caught up in it. So like that's one of my other sayings is just like ride the fucking wave. It's cool. Ride the wave of this. But yeah, I love plant medicine.
You're in good company. Have you ever tried so something that I really enjoy for a meditative session is ketamine. It's amazing. So just as a fellow meditator, I would invite you to maybe explore that because it's a powerful tool. And it's interesting because it does really, you can disassociate with like the external in a way and get really internal, especially with blindfold. And bringing into darkness, it's really enables you to go deep.
Interesting.
It does. Yeah. So, in case you're curious, could be something to explore. I know you have a meditation practice. I know that you practice yoga. What else do you do for self-care? Like, what are some routines that really set you up for success? Things that you can't really do without?
Yeah, I really have like a set morning routine, and meditation's a part of my morning routine, but I go like walking's like one of my best things that I do. So I'll go for like a 30-minute walk every day. And that like gives me like all my creative ideas. Go for a 30-minute walk, ask myself a question or get business ideas there. So I do that in the mornings. I do morning pages a lot. Heard of morning pages?
No, what is that?
So it's the first thing you do when you wake up, and Julia Cameron, she wrote The Artist Way. This is like her thing.
Yes, we're familiar with The
Artist Way. Yeah.
I actually just bought that as a Hanukkah present
awesome.
for someone dear to me.
Yes, it's amazing. The morning pages is amazing. Basically, it's 3 pages of free flow. You just write whatever comes to your mind, and if you don't have anything that you can put down on paper, you just like, I don't know what to write next. And you do it for 3 pages. And what Julia Cameron says is you get all the cloud thoughts out of your head, like all that bullshit on paper. And I don't read it afterwards. I just like shred it, throw it away. Like sometimes it's some crazy shit on there. Like I don't want anybody else looking at it. But yeah, I just get it all on paper. So that's like one thing I really do a lot is journal. I just like write down a lot of stuff. If I'm trying to get in to like planning mode or creative mode, I'm just thinking on paper there. So those are some of the the practices that I do.
So 3 pages.
3 pages.
And then you destroy those pages after.
Yeah, I normally keep like a notebook, and then when the notebook's done, then I'll destroy all the pages, throw them away. I don't look at them. It's not like an actual like diary, like a journal that I look back on. It's just getting the cloud thoughts out of my head. And I started doing that back in 2019, like when I started the meditation journey and the practice, and when I started making meditations. And that process, like morning pages, going for a walk, and then meditating is like when I get all my ideas, like everything I need to do next. So it's just like, that's a superpower right there.
Awesome.
Just in creativity. So
walking with a dog or without?
I had a dog, and my ex took the dog, so now it's just me. Just me now. So maybe 2024 the dog will be. I'll get a dog. We'll see.
How can someone find their purpose or align their actions with their soul's desires?
Good question. First thing that comes to my mind is I took a golden path training, and in that golden path training, we went through like what our values and criterias are. So there's a series of questions that we did, and we find out like really like what really sings to us and what's like our North Star, where we're going to. And that really helped me out, like finding my purpose and my soul. And in this Qigong, this golden path, it's golden path that they say when you're on your golden path, like your face just lights up. And I took a Chinese face reading class, and it was nuts because at first I'm like, I don't believe this shit. And then when I took the class, I was like, holy fuck, now I can't look at anybody's faces anymore without tripping out. Because you actually see like their shen, like you see their face light up when they're talking about things that bring them joy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really, it goes back again to like those questions and journaling, like really find out what like brings you joy, what lights you up. And then you're on your soul's path, you're on your golden path. Yeah.
So true.
We relate to that.
Do we just become best friends?
I think so. What are you passionate about other than meditation and yoga?
I am passionate about just like, especially lately, first thing that comes to my mind is like, I'm passionate about finding out like the things that I'm just not aware of, like what's the shit I'm not even aware of that's like, that I could be changing or doing or like seeing. So that's something that I'm, especially going into 2024, is like, I want to see, I want to learn and see those things like that I'm just not seeing yet, because there's just more and more is happening, and I'm like, wow, I missed that. But it's just kind of waking up more.
You're a seeker.
Seeker, yes.
Like
I'm trying to think of like, there was something that I was like, holy shit, like I haven't seen this the whole time. And it was just like right there in front of me, but I just wasn't like looking for it. So, yeah.
I actually love when that happens. There's like eureka moments, and then it's followed by like, ah.
Yeah.
I pass that every day. And then,
Scottsdale Research Institute.
For sure.
Remember we had that?
For sure. There's things like that all the time.
Yeah.
When something's not in your awareness and then it becomes in your awareness and you're like, oh, I've literally been
driving by that
every day, seeing that every day.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense until now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's wild.
What are you listening to or reading?
I am reading The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I read it once, and then that was like a life-changing book, and I just read it. Like, even knowing like hypnotherapy and hypnosis, I was watching Bob Proctor on YouTube, and he's like, this is my favorite book, this and Think and Grow Rich. And I'm like, why haven't even heard of it?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so like that's been powerful because it's just like one thing I've been doing too is like just telling myself before I go to sleep, like, hey, unconscious mind, heal my body, just like a command to my unconscious mind, because I do a subconscious reprogramming every night, but also just that command to my unconscious mind, like, hey, I'm fucking sleeping, like heal this shit.
Awesome. Love that.
So it's good
powerful.
Stuff.
Yeah.
One of my favorite books now, Power of the Subconscious Mind.
Cool. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah,
I have not read that one yet.
Speaking of books.
Oh,
Tell
snap!
us
Yeah.
about your book. Yeah. Speaking of books. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You just published the book.
Yes.
It came out yesterday, right?
Yes, the 12th. Well, yeah,
12th.
a couple days ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, just came out. Yeah, thank you.
Tell us about
Thank you. Yeah, I never thought I would write a book. Like, I never thought, even during the process, I was like, I don't think I can do this shit. Like, sitting down and actually like writing and collecting my thoughts instead of making a 2-minute Instagram video and just posting it really quick. Like, I have to wait for fucking this thing to be published. I have to wait months and months and months and not get the likes and whatever. But yeah, it was an amazing process. I got an email from a publisher, and I thought it was just like a junk email. Like, I get a lot of those emails where I'm just like, yeah, it probably is a scam. And I think they emailed me a second time, like, okay. Like, I looked up the publisher, I'm like, oh shit, like, they're actually legit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll get on a call with you. Yeah, they're like, hey, we think you'd be a good fit for like a book with just your brand. And they're like, what would you write? And I'm like, it's just fucking meditation. Like, I was like, yeah, that's the book I want to write. You know, to help people that wouldn't really pick up a meditation book, to be like, hey, I'll give this a shot. And that's kind of what I'm going for. And so far, like the feedback has been awesome. Like I even like read it myself, and I'm like, damn, like, because I haven't I submitted the manuscript back in March. So like I kind of forgot exactly all the stuff that I wrote down. Like I know the outline, but I was like, okay, that's a book like I would read too. So yeah, I'm very proud of it. It's just fucking meditation, out in stores, Amazon, Barnes and Noble.
Audible?
Yeah. Audible, not yet.
You
Not
gonna
yet.
record
Working
it
on
though?
that. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Working on that.
Well, it's been a pleasure to get to know you, to put a tangible person with the person that we see online, and it's been a pleasure to sit with you. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. This was fun. This was a good time.
Thank you.
And where can people find you online?
Yeah, they can just Google Yogi Bryan. The Google search has been good to me. So yeah, Google Yogi Bryan. You'll see everything that you want to see right there. So yeah.
Awesome. If you've enjoyed listening to the Plant.Body.Soul podcast, if you would subscribe to wherever platform you found us, that would be awesome. We would appreciate the support. You can find us also online at Plant.Body.Soul.com. Sign up for our email list. You'll get first drop on podcasts, as well as events that we have going on, upcoming retreats. We also have a lot of really cool yoga classes that we create in the Valley, and we'd love to see you sometime. You can find us on Instagram at Plant.Body.Soul and YouTube and Facebook at Plant.Body.Soul. All right, friends. Till
Thanks,
next
Jen.
time.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.